them.
Hi.
Hi.
We are live, young gun.
We are live. That's
Sorry,
right.
I'm too loud. Hi. How are you?
Doing great.
So,
Well.
yes, my name is Ching Juhl. I'm a New York young gun. On my this side, you have to go opposite. This side is Nick Rivera from Connecticut. And then below my downstairs, I'm the second floor. The first floor is Nel.
How you doing? We're doing like Brady Bunch right now, right, Nick?
Yeah.
Joy?
And then on my how do I do this? I screw up again.
No. Nick, right here.
Right there is Joy.
Right there, yeah.
New York young guy. Yeah. Okay. So we have Edward's here. Let me bring him in once I see his face. So Edward is from New Hampshire. Yay. So anyway, so how are you guys? I want us to do an intro on ourselves, like not too long, maybe a minute or two, to talk about like how actually we already knew how you got into Young Gang, right? I have talked to many of you, but maybe we can talk about last year, which is February the 11th today at this F hour. Where are you and how did you feel? Okay, so can we start from Nick, please?
Yeah, I was in Manchester, New Hampshire at the Puritan conference room. I was in the room where it happened. So how did I feel? It didn't hit me right away, to be honest. It was actually shown a notification on a friend's phone, and she was like, he is going to be announcing that he's suspending his campaign. This was even before he said it. So it's like, I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I don't believe it. And I didn't want to believe it. But, you know, I was happy to be in that room, even though the news wasn't easy to hear. I mean, there was no other place that I'd rather be than amongst Yang Gang. And I actually took a selfie, and there's someone that is involved in the UBI movement that was actually in that picture. I didn't know that right away. I found that out later. He has something called UBI bootstraps. Conrad, I think is his name, if I remember right. But anyway, that was my last selfie before, you know, COVID and lockdowns and everything. So when I think of normal, I think of the Yang Gang, and I always will, and I'm always grateful and thankful to be part of
washing dishes, please. I'm in live show.
Helping the campaign, as well as being part of this movement as it continues on its next phase. So I'm just happy to be here with everyone. It's good.
Yes, thank you. Welcome, Tom.
Hello, nerds.
Hello,
Hello,
So we're taking turns to talk about what happened last year this time. Okay. So how about Joy? Joy, do you know Tom? The famous Tom.
Well, I know Tom by reputation. We haven't met, so
Nice to meet you, Joy.
Joy is in my film. Joy went to school with Andrew in Brown. Yeah, Joy is a very active young gun. Yeah. So Joy, it's your turn, please. Where the heck were you last year at this hour?
Well, I was in the same room with you and Nick and Andrew in Manchester, New Hampshire. And it just blows my mind that it was a year ago. Time is certainly warped, but a lot has happened in the past year. And Edward was in the room too. So, well, what I recall from that moment, while a year feels like an eon ago, it also feels, it also is very vivid. The memory is very vivid. I can sense the room, sense all the people that were there. For me, although the announcement from Andrew that he was departing, the presidential campaign was, you know, it stunned me and others. what I felt in the room was a pretty quick pivot, a pivot from being stunned to feeling positive emotions, because we were celebrating what the campaign had accomplished, because we all knew, all of us in the room knew how much the campaign had accomplished, how far we had gone, how far Andrew had gone, the impact he had made. And we knew that it was all about going forward, right? So humanity forward, it became the new theme, but that was the theme throughout. It's all about looking forward, not left, not right, moving forward. And for me, the room embodied that spirit. So I felt actually very happy, and I felt happy to be with all of you and with everyone in that room.
Thank you. So nice. So positive. Hey, welcome, Ed. How are you? Ed is from New Hampshire. Ed, do you know everybody here?
I know the top portion, not those to my right, the bottom portion here.
The person next to you, that's Tom, the nerd for
Nice to meet you, Ed. I've seen you virtually, but we haven't met yet.
Yes,
so nice.
and then next to Nerds for Yen is Nel. Nel is the Yangan graphic designer.
I'm one of them.
Designer in chief.
Yeah, designer
in chief. Nice.
How you doing? How you doing?
So how about after Joy, could we start with Nel? You want to talk about? We were talking about what the heck is we were last year at this fucking hour. Oh, sorry.
Oh wow, Ching, you're so funny. Yeah. Well, last year I was home watching the New Hampshire, everything that was going on. I was watching Paget's live stream. That's what I was doing, and because she was streaming, the whole thing and trying to see the results. And so as I'm watching, then we saw the news, and I was like, no, this can't be happening, so that's what I was doing. But it was incredible. It just like Nick, it didn't hit me at first. It hit me maybe like 2 days later. I mean, I'll admit it, it was like, I was driving home from work, and that's when I really thought about it. I was like, wow, it's really over. And I just bawled. I started bawling. I'm sorry, but it was hurtful. But at the same time, I said, you know what? I came to a realization. I said, all I did the past, during Young 2020 was just donate and buy merch. And at that moment, I said, no, I'm not. I'm still gonna, as long as his name is on the ballot, I'm still gonna vote for Andrew Yang. I didn't switch from Republican to Democrat to not vote for him. Like that was my goal. I switched parties specifically to vote for him, and that's exactly what I did. June 2020, I was able to vote for him here in New York, thankfully. And the truth of the matter is that as soon as he dropped, that's when I said, I have to do more than what I've been doing. And that's when I started getting involved with different political campaigns and doing graphic design for so many people. And even with Humanity Forward, and now I'm a volunteer team lead for. Look at that!
Thank you.
Now
buy some ice cream.
Now I'm a volunteer team lead on the Yang 2020 on the Yang for Mayor campaign. So that it's a lot of fun. We're doing a lot of things. There's a lot of work to do. There was a poll recently that says that Yang was he's in the lead, but we still have a lot of work to do. But all right, next.
Hey, hi Tom, nerd.
Hello. Yeah, I was in Europe at the time, so I was sleeping when he gave it up, and I got up in the morning, and I got a Facebook message from one of my friends who actually, small world, works at Brown now. And he said, sorry about your boy. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, Yang. And I was completely shocked. Because I was already thinking about, okay, great. We're going to have all these independent-minded folks in New Hampshire. That'll be a stronger outcome for Yang. And then we have the Hispanics in Nevada. And then we're going to do really well with the African-American vote in South Carolina. So I was like, this is great. Iowa was like the worst, and every state's going to be a little better for us. And then we're going to really break out on Super Tuesday. So I had it all figured out in my head until I got that message that it was done. And I was very shocked, and I had some cognitive dissonance because I remember Andrew maybe it was the Rogan podcast saying like, I'm going all the way. It doesn't matter, because the message needs to be heard. And I was really surprised, and I felt like maybe we left the field too early, but it took. Then I went through the 7 stages of grief and everything, and it was like a breakup, and I felt very sad, to be honest, because the other candidates I was like, well, now what am I going to do? And so then I kind of had toyed a little bit with the idea of Bloomberg, because he also was kind of a independent-minded guy, but obviously he didn't do very well. And so, yeah, it was a tough thing. But like to Joy's point, what a crazy year it's been. It feels like it was 4 years ago that Andrew Yang ran for president. It's crazy. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But I'm excited. I'm glad he's going for mayor, and the guy is totally unpredictable. Like I would never have thought he would run for mayor. So he's super fun to follow, and he's certainly doing well in the polls. But let's hope we all pull together and help him get over the finish line, because it would be historic. Absolutely. And he could do some really great things for a lot of people.
Hey,
I think that's the thing, though. He's
sorry.
always 15 steps ahead of everyone.
Seriously,
as we've seen. I'll take it from here, I guess. So yeah, I was in Manchester after a long day in Keene, New Hampshire, which was about an hour away. So long cold day of just hitting the ground, trying to bring it to the finish line. And I got one of those texts from my buddy in Florida. He's like, "Sorry about your boy." So that's funny that you said that. Before he had said it. So like I'm like trying not to freak the crowd out and like look at my fellow campaign staffers and be like, "Is this true? Like, what's up?" But what really resonated with me is that I got to see Andrew first thing in the morning, got a hug from him, and he's a great hugger. If you've ever had the chance to give him a hug or get a hug from him. So that really like kept me going. But after he dropped the news, it really hit me because I left corporate America to go spread the word in New Hampshire, within my community and throughout the state. Fought hard for my campaign staffers. I was elected to be the union representative for our state. So not only was I doing that, and I was renovating my house at the same time. So there was so much, and in elected office too. So it was like so much. And then it hit me. I left the room and, just bawled, just cried, just let it all out, a sweep of emotions. But, as Joyce stated previously, there was this automatic sense of where do we go from here? How can we build on the work that we've been doing? And I think we saw that throughout 2020, with endorsing candidates, with Humanity Forward, with the campaign, with Andrew going down to Georgia. Yep. And I think we're seeing to, continue it now, as, we get cash assistance into people's hands as Andrew's running for mayor. And we continue to, take a humanity first approach to governing.
Yeah, beautiful. So, Ron is here. Hey, Ron Daddy. Hi, how are you?
What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
This
you.
newfangled internet streaming media world. It's not for me. But anyway, hi.
You're a media person.
So
So we you know what are we doing?
not lately.
We're sharing what the heck we were doing last year this time at this hour, which is Andrea ended his campaign. Okay, so what was your experience?
What time is it? 8:17?
Yeah, something like that.
I think I was either drinking. I was either drinking because I was happy or drinking because I was sad. Because were we in that weird ass conference hall like in Manchester, New Hampshire at that point?
Yes. No, at the beginning you're
And,
happy. You're drinking before the event. You're drinking after the event.
Yeah. Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
You know, I had spent 3 or 4 days in a car with Nechama, and we were like driving around in New Hampshire ski country. And honestly, I felt a little isolated.
Right.
But I was struck by the kindness with which all these people invited me into their house with my snowy ass boots to talk about Andrew Yang. And I was like, I would never do this. Oh well. Let me tell you guys about Andrew Yang. So it was very nice. But
Ron, did you take the boots off when you go inside, or did you leave the boots
I
on?
offered to. I always offered to.
But they weren't down with that. They were like, "No, you're good."
No, there were no. I spoke to no Asian people in New Hampshire. There were no Asian people.
Yeah.
I was trying to convince of Andrew Yang's validity as a presidential candidate on my journeys up there. But there you go. It was snowing on me while I was up there. I could have gone snowboarding, didn't do it. That's how committed I was. I turned down snow days.
Yeah, we
campaign
have
for Andrew Yang.
Newcomer, revolutionary thinking.
Yeah, Ariel. How you doing,
Ariel?
No,
How
I'm
are you,
doing
Ariel?
great.
There you go.
So, Ariel, where are you?
I'm in my place. I'm in LA.
Wait, no, what state? California.
Oh yeah, California.
Okay, yeah.
Like Southern California.
Yeah, we're labeled ourselves, like New York young guy.
Oh, really?
California young guy. I did it. I just did it for you. But your title is so long, so couldn't see it.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
It actually says revolutionary thing ... for me.
Yeah. Oh, so I know. There's more. Yeah. I'm gonna change for around. So tell us, are you finished around that age?
There's nothing more to say. I mean, I did cry a little bit.
Yeah.
And either nothing gets me to cry or everything gets me to cry. So, Andrew, that was one of the big ones, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I missed out on a Popeye's chicken sandwich once. I burst into tears on that one, but and that was just a momentary. That was the blood sugar.
Sandwiches are pretty good though. So
that was a blood sugar thing with Andrew. That was very deep and kind of disappointing. Yeah. I wish he'd have done better in Iowa. So the question for us is, has anybody actually post-gamed and analyzed that whole situation and tried to figure out where we went wrong there?
In New Hampshire or
Iowa?
No, Iowa. And then, honestly, I felt like New Hampshire was not very efficient. And I have a sneaking suspicion he had already decided not to run before the results had come in on that night.
Yep.
Was that actually true?
Yeah, you're right.
So even
ask Ed.
Yeah. So
can you clarify?
Even at the big dinner at that arena, he
Oh,
already had decided, right?
100 table. That I don't know, but
The Shaheen dinner.
I was not room. I was in the same house with Ed and Nick, right? I know
Jack Chen's house.
Jack Chen's house. Jack is coming. Jack Chen's house, and I was so stupid that I did not realize because staffs were already laid off. a week
Oh,
before.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about that, we can talk about that. Talk about the union negotiation process.
Yeah.
I was pretty bitter at how that was handled. Not so sure I'm ready to hash this out here.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Yeah, but yeah, so people were laid off. A substantial amount of the staff were laid off. So I think that thinking tracks, Ron. That by the Shaheen dinner that they knew, that they ran the numbers and they were like, you know, we need to save face and at least stay in because we've invested so much in the state. But yeah, it wasn't handled that well. I mean, it was in the middle of an event, and you know, we just all of a sudden lost access to all of our stuff. And
at the really during the
no,
dinner?
not
No.
not at that dinner. This was
No,
another.
this is a February the 4th in the February 3rd, the night we were waiting for the result we're waiting for the results of caucus. You guys already were talking on the phone about union this, union that, you know, right?
Oh,
Then we got up in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning. No, we went to bed 2:30 a.m. in the morning. Oh,
And
we had so much fun. And then we got up 4
at the
o'clock.
airport. Yeah.
We got up at 3 o'clock or something. So basically, we did not sleep. And then we went to pick up Andrew Yang, you know, on the 4th of February. You know, he came, our boy came with a jet, right? Remember?
Yep.
so wait, but the campaign was still in full effect on that night when you picked him up, correct?
Yeah, it is. But underneath, people were already let go. Already let go. So I was so stupid. I did not.
In New Hampshire as well. I looked back recently at the Rolling Stones article that they released about it, and there was a quote from Psy, I believe, that, I mean, you wordsmith things, but he said New Hampshire's still in full strength. So they didn't necessarily admit to laying off a substantial amount of New Hampshire staff, because that obviously the optics of that before, you know, a few days before the election would look terrible. But
yeah. Okay, so can we do this, please? I actually, whoops. What's going on? I actually makes short videos along the way, and this one was very well done. It's called People's Voice After the thing. So I want you guys to watch this, okay? So we don't have to watch the whole thing, but I bet the whole thing is really good. So watch.
Well, us Asians, it's all about the long game. We're not playing Chinese checkers. We're playing goal. He will be back 2024. He's going to sweep it.
Tell me a little bit how you feel right now.
I'm still numb. We gave a lot, and it's always worth fighting for something. So thank you, everybody. It was worth it, and we'll be back.
We're truly late on this, okay? Because this is a uniquely American idea, deeply American idea, not just uniquely, but deeply American. Thomas Paine, okay? Citizens dividend for the revolution, okay? American Revolution. You have 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Where do we go from here? Chaos or community? Talk about the guaranteed minimum income. And then there was another speech he made talking about the evils of society, talking about racism, poverty, and bigotry. He mentioned automation by name. Like, how prescient does MLK look right now? Okay? And you have Elon Musk. Even former President Barack Obama talked about technology and automation and how that is ramping up. So I felt and I feel that Andrew Yang is on time with his message.
我觉得特别感谢安主，他创造了一个奇迹，他重新书写了美国华人的历史。他跟后代是特别好的朋友，当然安主还会回来，坚信安主会回来。 再次请人，好不好？
How do I feel? A little bit surprised, a lot of it disappointed. I was really looking forward to talking to my friends in New York and Massachusetts, getting started some Yang gangs, and like really becoming an agent of change for the country. I think I still will do that, but maybe in a different way. I'm glad I volunteered for the campaign, and I'm glad I canvassed and became a politically active person, whereas otherwise I would have still been disaffected. I'm not even sure if I'm going to vote in the primary, but I'll definitely vote in the general.
I am sad, Ching. I am a little heartbroken. But I want to say to you that this is not the end. This is the beginning. We are not, Yang Gang is not going to go anywhere but up. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? We are not going anywhere but up. 2024 is 4 short years away. Andrew has given us a focus around how we can transform American society, American culture, where we can make capitalism work for us. We can create an economy that works for everyday people. And that is the very, very meaning of humanity first. And I plan on
Cut away there.
humanity first for a very long, long time.
You need a better
I'm
editor, Ching.
exhilarated because I'm in the middle of American history.
This is
I'm
the
also
old
confident
version.
that Mr. Yang will go much further in his political career. I shook hands with him approximately 10 minutes after he left the race, and we looked each other in the eye, and I told him he's going to be back in so many words, and that he was the best candidate in the race. And he gave me a significant look, and I think it was, it was like this. He represents the 21st century. He represents the early 21st century. This is what we need to remember. Instead of thinking of him as yet another guy like Mr. Bloomberg or Mr. Steyer, who just uses much less money but a little money to toss his hat into the ring as a capitalist. He's a polymath. He's a great polymath. He has the ability to think outside the box without actually leaving the room. So he's not too avant-garde.
You make me cry.
Thank you, dear. Guy's always a little bit.
Yang Gang isn't going anywhere. This is just the beginning. So really, this is where history starts, in this hallway in New Hampshire. Okay, there's going to be a motherfucking plaque right here in 50 years that says, this is where Andrew Yang's 2024 victory started. It started right the fuck here.
If I had $1,000, I'd be less stressed out. I'd be less stressed out and healthy.
I thought I was drunk.
If I had $1,000, I'd be more mentally healthy. I'd be way more mentally healthy. If I had $1,000, I could afford better food. I would check that new restaurant out downtown. If I had $1,000, if I had $1,000,
Drunk filmmaker.
You need a better editor, Ching.
No, this is
I gave you so many
film.
bites and you didn't cut away. I was waiting.
Yeah, no,
Waiting.
I didn't give you so many talks at my and the big film, you know. So
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
just the older video I did that day, that week or a few days later. But anyway, so just to show more people talking, because in my current film, I don't have time to let you guys talk so much. But anyway, so who is here? Let's see. Revolution. Ariel.
Yes, Ariel.
Ariel, you know what we're talking about. So do you have anything to share with us, please?
Oh yeah. Oh, and I see that we're still on the side. Is it? Oh, okay. oh, I mean, oh no. I see like the oh there now we're all okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, like where was I when Yang um suspended his campaign? I remember just that morning I was at where was it? The college, Los Angeles Community College, like talking about Yang tabling and doing all that stuff exactly on that day. And we had another cool event planned for Yang with Tesla or something like that. I don't know. They were so nice. They were driving me to these events, and it was such a sense of like camaraderie and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, I was watching Paget's thing, and they're like campaign suspended, and then I just had my head over the thing, and I didn't cry. I just you see that glass door over there? I just went up to that glass door and I just punched it really hard, but it's okay, not hard enough to break it. I just gave it a really good punch, and I wasn't sad as I was disappointed. Like I just wanted to like cuss out the voters of New Hampshire and call them everywhere in the sun and call them it's like ignorant and whatever, but it's okay. Maybe they just didn't get a word. And then I thought about the media, and then I started a new word in my repertoire. I call them the Morania because I think they're all idiots and people should pay attention to independent, news, but that's just me. And I was thinking, and then I just said, well, is that Tesla event still on, to one of my friends? And she said, no, it's gone. And I was so looking forward. And it wasn't just the campaign, it was the camaraderie and the passion and all of that stuff just poof, disappeared. And I thought to myself, I mean, this is sad, but it was really about his ideas and not so much about him. And then we fast forward to the month where the coronavirus happened, and I'm like, this may sound crazy. You couldn't happen in February. You couldn't happen in January because the idea of UBI, the virus, and we saw the biggest spike in history of unemployment. And then like we know that these unemployment systems aren't perfect and they leave people behind, and there's so much bureaucracy that goes on with them. So when that's your only source of supporting yourself and the bureaucracy can be so bad, that's the thing. So I just thought the campaign, he's suspended, but there's really no reason why we still shouldn't be yanking people and talking about the ideas, because it's really the ideas. And I was just so disappointed that Bernie didn't take on the idea of UBI, and then all the people were coming like, who you Yank supporters, so you're going to support Bernie, right? And it's like, they adopt UBI. Didn't we say that? Didn't we keep on saying that like 100 times and you didn't do it? But
they were so when I went out after he conceded, and we went bar hopping all around Manchester. Do you guys remember that? I ran into Bernie people at a diner, and I was like, guys,
right?
Oh, Ron, yes.
You're going to create jobs. Ed, you were there. You're going to create jobs. In 10 years, there won't be any jobs, bro. Like,
right? Yeah,
man? Get with it.
And then they went
Bernie
crazy.
was great in the 20th century, but it's 20 years into the 21st century. Let's get cracking.
Right.
And look where we are now. Right. The Corona has accelerated everything, right? As we all know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
But I just feel that his suspension should give us more will and more passion and more, evangelizing, not less. Who cares? It's all a construct. We just talk about UBI, and whatever, complaints people have about it, we'll say, okay, let's have a debate and, go from there. I really don't think, and then if we really drill down to the core, they're going to be all like, oh,
I know, but Ariel, you gotta create that context And
Right,
maybe that's
yeah.
what the mayoral run is about, because nobody's
Yeah,
just
that's
going to go right ahead and go,
Well,
yeah, man, let's talk about UBI. You know, that's not in anybody's vested interest. Although, you know,
well,
suddenly
here's the thing.
everybody's on board with it now. AOC is
Everyone,
talking about it.
everyone who's running in Senate in my state, I look them up and I see what the hell they're doing, because everybody running just coasts either off of like name recognition, or they just say, oh, I was in a smaller position, so I'm just entitled to this bigger position. And it's like, no. What are you doing for the people? What are you doing for us? You just say like, oh, you know my name, so just vote for me because I'm nice at that one time somewhere. Forget that. I like call and I say, hey, what do you think about UBI? What do you know about UBI? Do you support it or not? And they're like, oh. And I'm like, no. That's not acceptable anymore. It's not acceptable anymore. Just be like, oh. People are suffering. People are having a hard time. And I really grill them. We have to grill a lot of people. They have to be grilled. You know?
Okay. All right. Great point. Thank you so much. I I would like to have some of us, if not all of us, talk about what in general, like not a like a long phrase, like what have you done for the last year for Young Movement? Like I know Tom continuously doing his show, his analytical live show, right? And I know Nel does volunteer work for Andrew Yang campaign, and even for people who are younger like me, he designed my poster for my film. And I know Nick, although he's in Connecticut, but he's been always very very much helped me, because he was behind a lot of discussions of my film development, and I didn't know what to do almost 5 months ago. I didn't even know with all the footage what to do, so I always talk to him. So I'm sure you all have stories. Could we just start with Nick? You happen to be on my next to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, just in the development.
I'm sorry. After you talk about, can we go to Tom, because I know Tom has to go pretty soon. Okay.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem. Yeah. No, just the development of the film My Gang Gang Diary. Just certain like captions and questions about like transitions and that sort of thing. So the story flows. Just really happy and privileged and honored to be a part of that process, to not only be in the film but also help you shape it in a sense. And I think it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story of the movement of humanity. And since then also I've been on your show on Juhl Media a couple of times, and I was on an episode of the Yang Gang Roundtable podcast, so just trying to get the word out.
You were on Nerds.
And yes, and that's right, and Nerds for Humanity with Tom. That's right. So just getting the word out. So 2021 has been good, and most of 2020 still staying connected and informed of what's going on in the movement, and doing what I can to help out with my Twitter and on social media, really getting the message out about UBI, focusing on that. But I'm also very much excited about Yang's mayoral run, and also sharing links about that in stories on my Twitter and on Facebook. And yeah, so I've been active, but I think even from a distance, it still can be done. Doing that online, because basically we started out online, right? We went from URL to IRL. A lot of us are doing a lot of URL stuff, but there's still plenty of IRL stuff going on as far as outreach is concerned. And that's encouraging and good to see.
Thank you. Tom.
Yes, thank you, Ching. First of all, thank you for inviting me on this panel. It's been really fun and so cool to hear everybody's different perspectives. And Happy New Year to anybody that celebrates Lunar New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Gong Hei Fa Choi. So in terms of the things I've done,
Cantonese on me. Good.
Oh yeah, old school, man. We don't do no senior Kuai La. So yeah, I still making content for the channel. Shifted from Nerds for Yang to Nerds for Humanity, but maybe I should change it back to Nerds for Yang since he's running again. I wasn't expecting him to run again so soon, but I also was a donor for the Humanity Forward stuff and the 1K project, and so in a way, his whole kind of UBI evangelism was very convincing to both me and my wife, and we're like, this is a really tough time for a lot of people. If we can help out a family and have it just go directly, let's just do that. So we were very happy to be able to get matched with the family and help out there. And then I've been doing some fundraising for Yang for New York, doing some events and trying to raise some more money because there's a lot of expectations for the mayoral campaign. And even though because he's so well known now, because he's kind of considered the front runner, if he doesn't haul in a lot of money, it's actually like an expectations game too. Plus New York media is not cheap. So hopefully we can get him over the line, because I think he would be a game changer for millions of Americans, and he could help save, one of our greatest cities. And it would set himself up for, other things down the road as well. So it's a win all around.
Yeah, don't forget Of the People.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I thank you, Nel. So yeah, I also am starting a nonprofit called ofthepeople.us, and it's promoting local candidates and matching them with like national donors, national supporters.
And
the
this
idea
is all in the UBI world.
A lot of the candidates are UBI candidates, but it's open to anyone. And the premise of that is we all are unhappy with our congressional choices. And there was a lot of Yang Gang that ran for Congress. And I think a lot of people were enthusiastic about it, but the odds of getting into Congress out of the, from zero are very tough.
Yeah.
And so when you kind of run the numbers, you're like, 80% of people who are in Congress were holding a local office before that, city council, county commissioner,
state assembly, whatever.
Mayor, state assembly. So why don't we support people to get into those levels, more Jermaine Johnsons, right? And then it's sort of like you're investing in the NCAA if you want to get people into the NFL.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, Tommy. That's actually quite a valid approach because, sad to say, the neoconservatives ran circles around the Democratic establishment because they literally ran for school board and dog catcher level offices as they climbed the ladder towards national offices, and it freaking worked. You had 2 generations of this neoconservative Republican onslaught. I can't think of any better word. Where basically people weren't learning evolution in schools anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't heard it called that before, but as someone who's dog catcher roles. Dog catcher roles.
Dog catcher.
They ran for dog catcher and the head of the PTA, and then they would run for Congress after that. And
I mean, the thing is, like,
Marjorie Taylor Greene, my friend.
A lot of those, I know. A lot of those local offices, like they're won by just hundreds of votes, and their total campaign budget is just a few $1,000s. So it's a value play as well. If you want to donate money and you want to back us, you want to have real impact. Looking at those local races is great. So that's what Of the People is. We basically make it easy to find a local candidate to back.
Can I jump in?
Tommy.
I wanted to thank a special person who is actually in the audience with us. His name is David Lloyd. David Lloyd found me on Facebook, and he just sent me this 1,000 stickers called Vote Yen, because I think he's in a different state. I think he's in somewhere Midwest or something. So thank you, David.
Thanks,
and,
David.
and I also want to thank a lot of people who are watching us right now. Mick CK, thanks for your generous money for us. And then Balaja Kata. Balaja Kata.
Balaji Karta.
Balaji Kata. Do you know him? He
Yo,
says,
Balaj, what's up, baby? I don't know.
He said
I
the
have no
best
idea what
part.
that is.
The best part of the young gun is the understanding that the future can be better than the present and the past, and having a workable vision that everyone can almost touch. Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Yes. So
This last 9 months has been about almost touching
I
something.
mean,
I'll say that.
I mean that's what makes it so beautiful is that we know that Andrew Yang could have been anyone. He could have been your neighbor. He could have been your parent. He could have been your teacher. He could have been, your store owner next to you.
Well,
and if we just recognize that, I mean, like
he is my neighbor.
I cannot find anybody like that.
Can I just pick it up? Can I just pick it up from here as someone who's in office right now, who's in one of those dog catcher roles?
Don't be mad, bro. It's true what they did. I'm telling you.
And thank you, Ariel. Let me mention a couple of more persons before we have fun.
Oh, Eddie,
Daryl. Hi,
hear what you
Daryl.
say.
Daryl is a friend of somebody. Like he said, hi, Mitch. Who is Mitch? And then we have Peter Manku. Peter Manku is in Bronx, New York young gun. He also is a very hardcore helping me developing my film.
Pete, we know Pete.
Yeah, every time I have so many questions and technical stuff, and so we hang out and we solve problems. And thank you so much. And then we have somebody's name called WANTOOSEEMORE. How do you say that?
Let me look.
Wata sama. Yeah. I was about to sell my ATV by the weekend to camping more for him. Meeting Yangan IRL was the best time ever. True, the best of best. Thank you so much. So
want to see more. That's who that is.
who is it? Who is
I don't know, but they want to see more.
That's why they're here.
This is the wrong Zoom call for that, my friend.
Yeah. And then we have
Yeah.
JECCAIEGO. He sometimes follows us. So thank you so much. So anyway, anything you want to add on to your work, Joy? Joy,
What's Joy up to?
she has a nice job, right? She has a job in Harvard or something, right?
Yeah. Cool. So I'm working on tech and technology and society issues at Harvard. But I'm just so excited about Andrew's mayoral run for New York, and I think Andrew has such a late. Yeah. He really is. And I just think Andrew has such a laser focus on impact, on making impact. His kind of impact is how do I help people? And with his presidential run, he made impact on so many levels. Now he sees, rightly so, that being the leader of New York City, you are going to help, by extension, the world, because it's a global city that's tied into everything that happens beyond the city, throughout the country and throughout the whole world. So, I mean, just kudos for him for seeing that and going for it. So I'm, getting involved in volunteering with that effort. But for the past year, I mean, it's been such a tough year for everyone. And Andrew is a great leader, and therefore I think a lot of Yang Gang just followed his lead. I certainly did. So I took cues from him. So if he was putting, efforts into Humanity Forward, I donated to that. And then when he was, so smart about getting a role on CNN and raising his visibility and elevating his voice and getting more reach that way. Amplifying his voice through Twitter and the social platforms is something that I've definitely, never stopped doing. And then, the thing is, things were bleak before before COVID. And Andrew, he's shown a light and a vision on what we can do. And then during COVID, we had so many crises. We had George Floyd, we had the Black Lives Matter movement, we had COVID itself devastating the economy and people's lives. And Andrew was in the thick of it every step of the way. So it was about I think Yang Gang was also about sticking with Andrew through that, as we all were going through these trials together. From big highlight was when he devoted so much energy to Georgia and the Senate runoff there, and supporting that effort too. I donated, so many times.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because of, normally I'm a feet on the ground type person, knocking on doors in New Hampshire and so forth, getting out the vote. Due to COVID, I wasn't able to do that as much. I wasn't able to march. So it was about finding a lot of ways to help remotely and just keeping the message going and keeping and staying on top of Yanging people and extending Andrew's ideas that he laid out for us in his presidential campaign. But again, I'm just really excited about the New York City mayoral run. It's just, bright future ahead for the Yang Gang.
So what's the vibe in Cambridge for Andrew and his ideas? Do people take him seriously over there at all, or?
From what I can see, not so much, because I think Andrew is still seen as a unconventional person, and so most people have conventional thinking. It's formed by the media, it's formed by the past. So I think it is hard to break through.
Yeah, I think that's the real virus, like conventional thinking. That's just me.
Well, you know what it is too, that a lot of people. I mean, there's that notion that, and people still keep saying, "Oh, he's not a real New Yorker," and it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, the guy's lived here for 25 years, So, I mean, he was born in New York, New York State, but how can you say he's not a New Yorker?
They need something to stick to him. They need something to stick to him. That's
correct.
Well, like when you can't argue on the facts and the logic and the data, you're always looking for some distraction, some spaghetti to throw at the wall and see what sticks. And that's what they've been doing to him all the time.
Well, it's funny. It's funny with this race that a lot of people like when he was running for president, everybody said, "Oh, he's running for president. He should run for mayor first. He should run for senator." And now that he's running for mayor, they're saying, "Oh, he's starting up too high. He should run for city council," or you know what I mean? It's like nothing's enough for them. But listen.
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's why you just gotta kind of like either confront them on their hypocrisy or just let their voices go unanswered. I mean, it's not, I think that's the best way of doing it, because if you're gonna hit a person from one side and then when they listen, they go for your advice or they do things, then you hit them from the other side. It's just fear, or they just want to keep control over the power, so they look for any little thing that they can. And we just got to be smarter than them. That's it.
Well, I mean, at a certain point, if as the last 9 months have shown us, the last year, rationality and thinking really don't matter that much in American politics. But that's
rile them up.
I guess you gotta, this is New York City. At a certain point, he's gonna have to wade into the mud and do it and wrestle. He doesn't want to, but he's gonna have to. Like it's funny that he was confronted about spending all the time in New Paltz at the house, right? But Ray McGuire is like a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire, and I'm sure he wasn't like cooped up in a studio apartment somewhere uptown. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
Well, I mean, listen,
the man used to work at Citibank.
Yeah, Ron.
Where did he spend the quarantine? Where
Ron,
was he at?
they're punching up because he's the front runner. That's all it is. And and because he's the favorite right now, that's why they're punching up and they're just throwing everything they can. But you know what? Nothing is sticking. Everything they've thrown at him, nothing is sticking. Look at the whole bodega thing that happened.
Right.
That didn't stick. It's a bunch of things. But Andrew's a very smart man, and I agree with Joy that going over to CNN for the time that he was very helpful for name recognition. Listen, I know a lot of like I said before, I'm a Republican who switched to Democrat to vote and support Andrew Yang, and I can tell you right now, living in New York City, I know a lot of Republicans that actually like Andrew Yang. I know a lot of people that are Democrats that also like Andrew Yang. I know people that are independents that love Andrew Yang.
Now he just announced his Jewish outreach now.
Yeah, I saw that.
And like the whole circumcision thing. Oh, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is why all these Jewish people love him, and he's even against BDS. Pay attention to that. It's like, but
I mean, they asked him on that on one of the live streams that he was in, and I saw his response, and it made sense to me.
I have Arab friends who are not. I have Arab friends who are not in love with his response.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. When I heard his response, I said, okay, well, that makes sense. So I'm not gonna listen. You can't fault a guy who has the means to be able to take his family and social distance them from from a global pandemic.
I actually poll that voters don't care about that issue.
No, and correct. And voters do not.
Did you see a poll where nobody really cared?
No one
yeah, there was.
Yeah, well,
it was just released actually. The New York Daily News.
Sorry,
here's my bottom line. I don't care if you want to take a vacation to Mars and come back, as long as things in my general vicinity are going well and people are happy and we have money, we have our basic needs covered, maybe we have a little bit more money to have fun with. Live your own life however the hell you want.
Right.
Just make sure things are good on the ground. I don't need to know about your personal affairs as long as
Mike Bloomberg used to go to the Bahamas every weekend to his house, and nobody complained.
Listen, it
irritated me, but
double standards all around, you guys. I mean,
they're complaining because he's the front runner. That's all.
If they don't have this issue, they will find something else even more vicious. So he just have to deal with it. I think like Nel said, when you are a front runner, you are Chinese have a saying, say 枪打出头鸟，枪打出头鸟就是the bird is sticking his head out is the one getting shot,
That's why you shouldn't have put me in that short film, babe.
Well,
I had a target on my back.
And also, I love when if Yang punches back. That's the best. Just when he said, if you don't think I'm a real New Yorker, just say that to my face. I swear, sometimes, like a dog, when they bark and they bark and they bark, and you just turn your head and you stare at them and they go and hide.
Yeah.
Some of these people, they're just like that dog. They'll bark and they're bark and they're bark. And once you do that, they'll go hide behind a corner.
No, I mean, that might work on some of these candidates who already seem pretty weak, but they're going to try to make noise.
These people who come up with the news stories. I'm not talking about the candidates. I'm talking about these journalists who have such boring lives. They have nothing better to do. Just call them out on their nonsense and confront them on it, and then they'd be all like, "Yeah, no, I didn't."
Listen, listen. Honestly, if you think about it, though. all of these stories that they're bringing up and these made up stuff that they just want to bring up, or whatever, it just keeps Andrew in the news. So it's a benefit.
Bad publicity is good
Great.
I think, in my opinion, honestly, attack everything that you can right now, because right now people are not paying attention.
Yeah.
They're going to be paying attention in
Yeah.
May when it's almost time to vote. That's when. Listen, in New Hampshire, and I'll say this: when I remember watching a live stream, it might have been Padgett's live stream, but we were watching. It had to be Padgett's live stream, because that's when we were watching. They were interviewing people in New Hampshire when the same night, that's what we're talking about tonight anyway, right? A year ago, they were interviewing people as they were walking out of the polls and asking, "Hey, who did you vote for? And how did you come to, to choose the person?" And I remember seeing vividly, there was an elderly couple that when they were walking out, they asked them that question, "Who did you vote for and why?" They said, "Well, we woke up this morning. We didn't know who we were going to vote for. We turned on the TV and there was Amy Klobuchar. And that's when I decided that's the one."
Oh, that's a low information voter.
Yes. You know what I mean?
That's scary. That's so
that's
scary.
a low information voter without a remote to turn the channel to see.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So here's the thing. And I'm not saying everybody in New Hampshire did that. I'm sorry, Ed. That's not what I was implying. But
you're insulting the dog catcher, please.
But I mean, but the thing is that, it's like there's a lot of people like that in the United States, throughout everywhere. And there's going to be people like that here in New York, that they don't know who they're voting for. They're not really involved. They're not politically savvy, and they're not looking for whatever. Listen, the reason that I became a Democrat I don't consider myself a Democrat, but the reason I switched to Democrat is because back in 2016, I was a Republican, but I did not want Hillary Clinton to win, and I wanted Bernie to take it. So, but I was a Republican. I didn't know about the rules about voting. I wasn't informed. What did I do on primary day? I showed up to the polls not knowing anything that New York is a closed primary, and I said, I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. I want to make sure that Bernie makes it. And when I showed up to the polls, they said, "Oh, I don't see your name." I'm like, "What do you mean? I vote here all the time. My name should be there." And they looked, and then they said, "Are you a registered Democrat?" I said, "No, I'm a Republican." Yeah. And I said, "Okay," and they told me that I can't. That I'm sorry, you can't vote for this election. I said, "What do you mean? This is America. I should be able to vote." And they told me, "No, you need to be, in order to vote in the Democratic primary, you need to be a Democrat." And I said, "Okay, so how do I change to Democrat?" They said, "Well, you already passed the deadline, and we can't do that. We can't switch now or whatever." And I left, and I was so upset. I was so upset that I couldn't vote for Bernie. And so what happened was I left, whatever. But this is, it's timely that I'm even saying this right now, because anybody who's watching this, if you're in New York and if you're not a registered Democrat, but you want to vote for Andrew Yang,
switch.
Listen, you need to switch by this Sunday.
Yeah,
this Sunday is the
Valentine's Day. Okay,
This Sunday is the last day that you can switch your vote, so that you can vote for Andrew Yang. So after Sunday, that's it. You have no other opportunity. And this is only for anybody who's in a different party that's not a Democrat.
Yes.
If you're not registered at all, you have until May 28th, which happens to be my birthday, by the way. To
write that down.
Not to register to vote, but the truth is, we're making a push. Volunteers for Yang, me and a few other people on Volunteers for Yang, we did a 30-second video trying to promote Sunday, and we put it out already. So if you haven't seen it, go to my Twitter. You can see it on my Twitter.
It looks good.
Very nice.
It's sharp. Yeah.
So guys, so anyway, so this is basically the message I wanted to bring.
Message.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point. Okay, guys, we're over 9 o'clock. Anybody
Okay.
else want to say anything? Ed, not saying enough, and Nick wasn't saying enough. You want to say something before we wrap up?
No, just that it's good to see everyone.
Absolutely.
Hopefully everyone's having a happy and healthy 2021, and let's continue this good work. Let's continue to fight for the humanity first vision. Let's support local candidates. I'd say UBI and Yang are two different things. They don't have to be together.
Okay.
UBI can continue without Andrew. And we can fight for the things that he was fighting for in his presidential platform, like ranked choice voting. We can fight for reforms that will continue to bring that forward, and that's what I would kind of leave things on.
Thank you.
I just wanted to point out the irony of how funny it is that all these mayors of New York run for president, but Andrew ran for president first. Then he ran for mayor of New York. So he can do. So then once he actually becomes mayor, then he can do the.
If it doesn't destroy him, the leap from mayor to president has never been successful for New York mayors.
Yeah.
Well,
sadly,
Andrew is a different breed. He just
we're talking about Andrew.
Name
Correct.
recognition.
Never say never.
Well, it's not
Okay.
about
I'm with
Andrew.
Nick
It's
on
about
that.
Andrew. It's about him and his family. How long will they be willing to put up with it? That's something that you need to consider. It's not just him; it's him and his family.
Yeah,
you're right.
that's true. Yeah.
I do agree with Ariel that Andrew's a path less traveled kind of guy. He's a trailblazer and thinks outside the box. So he'll manage to always do it differently than other people.
100%. That's what I love about the guy. That it's like, hey, look, I don't like, because I'm so sick of the drama. I'm so sick of just like the mudslinging, and it's like you know that guy who just comes in and says break it up to everybody acting stupid, and they're like, okay, like you don't like them for this, they don't like you for this. Let's just talk it out and let's see what we can solve. And he's the guy who like comes in and does that, and I just love those kinds of people.
Yeah, Nick, you want to wrap up?
Sure. No, I'm just happy to have been a production assistant for your film, My Yang Gang Diary. If you haven't checked it out, please do. It's a tribute. It's a beautiful story for the Yang Gang, and it's all over. Like it's hitting the international film festival circuit. So Yang Gang is international.
Yeah, Ching. So where did you win? Rome, you said?
Rome.
Yeah, Rome International Film Festival.
Nice.
I won the best documentary feature. Yeah.
Best documentary.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Awesome.
And I'm in some of the things in the finalist, like a finalist of the New York Film Award, finalist of a Montreal Independent Film Festival.
You did you apply to Toronto? That's a big one.
Toronto was not open right now. It's not open right now. Yeah. So I applied for some other Toronto. There's a lot of small festivals also.
Okay.
But the major one, I don't think it's open. Yeah.
Ching, so first of all, congratulations. That's
Thank
amazing.
Joy was speaking.
I'm sorry, Joy. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, I just was asking if people can view the film somewhere. Is it available online? Or not?
Well, I am actually going to. I am planning with Dao Song, Andrew Yan's team, and I want to have a viewing party, like another viewing party. The viewing party I did on January 4th, it was much longer film, like 99 minutes. Now it's 80. And I expecting people like to donate like $10 or something, $20.
We should do it in socially isolated Times Square, seats 6 feet apart. Get outside.
Online thing. I'm trying to do an online thing. I don't actually know how to do it. So maybe I'll
online?
talk to. Yeah, I want to do online sharing.
You would do it probably through Zoom.
I tried on Zoom. I already tried with Peter. When I play my video on Zoom or any of the original file, it sounds terrible. So Zoom is not the best way of hearing. right?
StreamYard.
Any streaming is bad. StreamYard will be bad too. So like actually like YouTube like Premiere sounded good. But I cannot do YouTube Premiere because then it will be in the public, like everybody can see it. So I want to have a private event, you know.
Okay.
So maybe if you guys know how to do it, let's talk.
There's some YouTube videos can be set as private, or people will need like a special link to
Yeah,
see
I
the
want to
thing.
do a party, watch party. You know.
Here's my question: how many
Yes.
people do you want to see it? Do you know that you can book some movie theaters at 25% capacity?
Really?
Yeah.
For like $150.
Yeah, like nothing. And like if you get 30 people, they're paying $5 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You want me to
that
get
sounds
back to you?
awesome. Yeah,
I'll get
that
back to
sounds
you on that.
awesome. Okay.
And,
Okay.
and then let Andrew know, and then he can come by.
But I believe Ching wanted to do like a fundraiser type, right? So
yeah, like the money goes to Act Blue.
So we sell the popcorn for $20 a bag. It's only $5 more than
the AMC stuff.
It's only $5 more. And
don't forget about the soda either.
It's another $20.
By the way, sorry, let me say something. If you are a New York resident, like New York City resident, right? If you donate $10, Andrew Yang Campy will get $90.
Oh, good.
So please do not forget that. So
right.
we're a hot commodity now.
yangfornewyork.com/donate.
Yeah. So if your zip code is New
Yang
York
for
City,
NY, I'm sorry, Yang for NY.
New York City means Manhattan, Bronx, Queens,
boroughs.
Staten Island, and Brooklyn. So 5 boroughs. You're all New York City. Okay, great. So please support our boy. All right, great.
Last one, the Yang Gang Roundtable podcast. I'm also a part of that. And
Oh, yeah.
Nick, that was the one that you were on, and you interviewed Faye Doney. We all worked together.
Oh, nice. That's a very nice, what do you call podcast? Yeah, very nice. Okay, everybody, gentlemen, ladies. So great to see you. And you know, I thought about this idea only, you know, like yesterday morning. I was like, let's see each other today, you know, because I've been doing other things, other podcasts, other shows. So anyway, what's this? This is the
That's
claw.
Andrew's
The
hand.
claw.
Andrew's claw. Yeah.
No, but I was pointing
Amazon.
down. I was pointing down to yangforny.com/donate right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Put it here
Yeah.
so people have the link.
Okay, great.
Okay, now I'm going to reach out to you.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Ron.
Let me know what's up, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ed,
Thank
don't
you so
catch
much.
it today, governor tomorrow. That was how
Yeah.
they did it with the Republicans.
Hey,
and that's how you can do it.
Ron, reach out to me on Twitter if at Nel Nieves.
Oh, can I ask?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're over time. I have an urgent question. Do you think Donald Trump will be punished?
No.
Impeached? No.
No.
Impeached? I don't think. I don't know.
Why are they wasting time?
I don't know.
Just to make him look bad, but he will not. We will be paying his pension for years to come, and his
Political
social
theater.
and his Secret Service detail.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
yeah, I think so too. I agree.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, if he's
Just,
convicted, he loses the Secret Service?
Yeah, that's why I
There-
want him
there-
convicted. He doesn't. He
there-
gets
Yeah.
nothing if
Run
he
for
gets
office again.
convicted.
Yeah, there's a contingent of the Republican Party now that's just a brainwashed cult. It's just, I'm not saying all Republican, I'm not saying all of them, but like
You're not wrong, Ariel.
some of these people, it's just does the evidence doesn't matter, the facts don't matter, nothing matters. It's just we love Trump and we're just gonna close our eyes and close our ears and just sing his praise. It's disgusting, but I don't know.
Yeah. That's too bad.
That's where we are.
Say
okay.
hello to my cat.
Hello and goodbye. Hello and goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank
Ching,
you,
I will
guys.
look into the movie theater for you.
Oh, please
We'll
do,
look
please
into
do.
it.
Okay, and
Okay.
also think about how am I gonna do this? A watch party,
Online? Okay.
private, private watch party. Yeah.
Figure it
Yeah,
out.
we'll look at ways. We'll look at ways.
Okay.
All
Thanks
right,
a
I'll
lot.
see you guys later.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks a lot,
Good
Ching.
night.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Here. Bye bye.